Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're taking a closer look at a topic that really touches so many families, often in profoundly unique ways. Parenting children with special needs.
It's a big one.
Yeah, it really is. Our source material for this deep dive comes from some expert insights compiled in an article. It's called Parenting Children with Special Needs, reviewed by the Psychology Today staff. Seems packed with, nuanced perspectives and practical advice.
It is, yeah. Lots to unpack there.
So our goal for this session is pretty clear. We want to pull out the most vital insights and really the actionable advice from these experts. We're going to try and navigate the unique challenges of raising a child with special needs. It could be a physical disability, a learning delay, maybe an emotional challenge. And we'll focus on maintaining well-being, for everyone involved, while also strengthening those crucial family bonds. By the time we're done, you should have a real shortcut, hopefully, to understanding the expert consensus on these complex issues. It's about more than just information. It's about practical takeaways and maybe a deeper appreciation for the incredible journey these families undertake.
The article's opening punch is pretty stark right off the bat. It says, parenting a child with a special need isn't just a different path, it's a marathon. Demands specialized skills, relentless time, energy.
Wow.
And crucially, it doesn't just impact the child. It ripples through every part of a parent's life, careers, marriages, even the other kids in the family. It's like a full system impact.
That makes sense.
And here's maybe the surprising truth, the sort of bedrock insight that underpins everything else.
Yep.
Despite these huge demands, the experts are unanimous. Parents must not let their own physical and mental well-being decline.
Really? That's the foundation?
Yeah. This isn't just good advice. It's presented as the absolute foundation for all other support and care. You have to start there.
Okay, that's a powerful and, essential starting point. It sounds simple, maybe, but how do parents of special needs children actually maintain that self-care amidst such intense, often overwhelming demands?
Yeah.
Feels like the first thing that would slip. Yeah.
It absolutely is. And the sources are very clear on the inherent risks for caregivers. If that parental stress isn't managed, it doesn't just feel bad, it can spiral. Emotional burnout, really debilitating feelings of helplessness, hopelessness.
Yeah.
Even a kind of paralysis.
Paralysis, wow.
Yeah. Imagine trying to navigate complex medical systems or school meetings when you feel utterly depleted. It's almost impossible to be effective.
I can't even imagine.
So the advice is incredibly practical. Find a self-care practice that works for you. Could be therapy, regular exercise, mindfulness, or maybe just finding a few quiet moments each day, whatever fits.
Okay.
They do acknowledge it might trigger feelings of guilt. The thought of taking time for yourself when your child needs so much.
Right, that guilt trap.
Exactly. But they emphasize that redirecting some of that energy to self-care directly, fundamentally, benefits the child. It's not selfish. It's foundational care for the whole family unit.
That makes perfect sense when you put it that way.
Yeah.
And speaking of the family unit, it gets even more complex when you think about the couple's relationship. How does a couple keep their connection strong when life increasingly revolves around caregiving, often for years and years?
Yeah, that's a huge challenge. The article talks about this concept of a co-parenting alliance, which is essentially how two parents kind of tag team life, dividing everything from chores to careers, all while supporting their kids. Now, for families with special needs children, this alliance isn't just important, it's absolutely non-negotiable.
Non-negotiable, huh?
Yeah. Think of it like a finely tuned machine. If one part isn't pulling its weight or if they're not synced up, the whole system falters. And the child, who often thrives on routine and consistency, really feels that disharmony.
I see.
The source emphasizes that a child who needs consistency will profoundly struggle when parents don't share a consistent approach. So the advice is, talk openly about your inclinations, adapt, really work together to create a reliable, predictable home environment.
Okay, communication.
Yeah, crucial. And amidst all that coordination, never, ever forget to prioritize attention, nurturing, and affection for the child. That still has to be central.
Right, of course.
It's also vital, they say, for parents not to negate or contradict each other, especially not in front of the child.
Oh yeah, that undermines things.
Totally undermines the consistency we just talked about. The experts suggest holding regular family meetings, maybe just between the parents sometimes, and sometimes with the children, to discuss plans and concerns. It shows a unified front.
That's practical.
And above all, they strongly urge couples not to let their marriage or romantic connection fade. Even if it's just scheduling a periodic date night, Understanding that this bond sustains the entire family is the key takeaway. It's like the oxygen mask analogy, right? Put yours on first.
Right. The oxygen mask for the parents' relationship. It's fascinating how much of this advice circles back to the parental mindset. And that brings up a really strong, almost primal instinct for parents, the desire to fix things. When your child is facing challenges, that urge must be overwhelming. But what does the research say about trying to fix a child with special needs?
You're absolutely right. It's instinctual for any parent, especially one whose child has a special need, to want to fix them or fix everything around them so they can just thrive.
Yeah.
And let's be clear, there are certainly many, many things a parent can do to help their child learn, gain independence, develop social skills. That's crucial work.
Okay.
However, the article makes a very important distinction. Parents may not be able to fix the child's underlying condition itself. The focus shifts dramatically here.
Just how?
Well, instead, it's about identifying ways a child can achieve in the moment, right now, with their unique strengths. It's about reframing what might seem like a challenge into a positive aspect of their condition, like their boundless energy maybe, or their unique imagination, their intense focus, their insatiable curiosity.
Yeah, focusing on the strengths.
Exactly. When you focus on those strengths, it fosters a much more positive home environment for everyone, and it empowers the child within their unique self, rather than trying to make them someone they're not.
That's a powerful reframing. Okay, shifting gears a bit to social dynamics. Navigating friendships and social situations can be tough for any kid. How can parents help children with special needs overcome these often profound social challenges?
Yeah, this is a big one. The research cited here really brings home how tough this can be. For instance, apparently over half of children with ADHD are disliked by peers.
Over half. Wow.
Yeah, and they're twice as likely to have no reciprocated friendships. And many children with special needs often just have less developed social skills, which unfortunately leads to struggles, frustration, even anger. And that can unfortunately distance them further from their peers. It can become a vicious cycle.
That sounds incredibly difficult.
It is. And what's often overlooked is that these children are frequently unaware of their own social deficits. They might not realize how their actions are being perceived.
They don't even know what's going wrong sometimes.
Often, no. So the advice for parents includes providing calm guidance and support during interactions. One really clever strategy they mention is helping kids develop internal scripts.
Internal scripts. Like lines.
Kind of. Think of it like giving them a mental playbook for different social scenarios. So if a child struggles with introductions, the script might be something simple like, "Hi, my name is Name. Do you want to play games?"
Okay, practical.
Or if they get frustrated easily, an internal script could be, "Take a deep breath, count to 3. It just gives them tools to navigate those tricky moments themselves.
That's smart.
It's also suggested to focus on fostering individual one-on-one friendships rather than trying to fix a maybe negative reputation among a larger group, build success slowly, and perhaps most importantly, a warm, supportive parental relationship can be deeply comforting for kids who are struggling with peer relationships. It's their safe harbor, you know?
An anchor, yeah. That's incredibly practical advice. You know, when I hear special education, my mind immediately goes to like a specific classroom or maybe a different school building entirely. Is that actually what the experts in this article are talking about, or is it something broader?
That's a fantastic point because you're hitting on a really common misconception. The source really clarifies that special education isn't a place at all.
Not a place.
No, it's a set of services within and sometimes outside of a school. These services are designed to provide things like smaller classrooms, maybe specially trained staff, greater structure and consistency, and opportunities for children to build confidence and relate to peers who might share similar challenges. It's about the support system.
Got it. Services, not location.
Exactly. It's also important to understand that special education isn't just for physical or developmental disabilities. In most districts, these programs are also available to children with emotional or mental illnesses, like kids who struggle to control their emotions and might be disruptive in larger classrooms.
Okay, so it's broader than I thought.
Yeah. A child might spend all or part of their day in these programs, or they might be integrated with other students for certain subjects. The key, really, for families is to actively identify the available services in their community and then passionately advocate for their child to receive the help they need. It's a whole spectrum of support, not just one thing.
Okay, that clarifies a lot. This raises a critical and often hidden question, though. How can parents tell if a child with special needs is depressed? Especially since, as the source notes, kids are often unlikely to just come out and share those feelings directly.
Yeah, that's a really tough one. It's true that children with special needs are statistically more likely to experience depression, but the red flags can be incredibly subtle, and parents often find them difficult to detect.
Why is that?
Well, studies cited here show parents tend to be maybe overconfident in their ability to identify depression in their kids. And the kids themselves report they're often reluctant to share those feelings with parents.
Reluctant. Why wouldn't they share?
The reasons are significant and kind of sad.
Mm-hmm.
Kids may believe parents don't truly listen, or maybe they're too eager to jump in and fix everything, which we just talked about.
Right, the fixing instinct again.
Exactly. They might also think parents will just say, oh, it's just a phase, you'll get over it. Or, very touchingly, sometimes they just don't want to scare their parents.
Oh, wow. That's heartbreaking.
It is. So the advice is to try and demystify depression. Speak openly about it, maybe even share your own experiences if that feels appropriate. And also actively identify other trusted adults like teachers, doctors, a therapist that your child might feel more comfortable confiding in. Create an open, safe space and multiple avenues for them to talk.
That makes sense. Create options.
Mm-hmm.
And building on that, what's truly sobering and important here is the focus on hidden risk factors for suicidal ideation, even beyond clinical depression. What should parents really be watching for, and how can they respond effectively? That's terrifying to even think about.
It is terrifying, and it's a somber reality the source highlights. Many children apparently contemplate suicide without their parents ever knowing.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. The article identifies specific hidden risk factors beyond a formal diagnosis of clinical depression that parents should pay special attention to. Now, it's crucial to stress most children with these factors will never consider suicide, but they are indicators of increased vulnerability.
So what are they?
Anxiety is a significant one. Individuals with anxiety are cited as being 10 times more likely to have suicidal thoughts.
10 times.
That's what the source says. Sleep disturbances are another major one, and also having been the victim of violence. Again, these don't mean suicide is inevitable, just that they increase risk.
Okay. So what can parents do? How do they respond?
In terms of response, the source outlines concrete steps for safety planning. First, ensuring the immediate home environment is safe, like securing medications or any firearms, basic safety proofing.
Right.
Second, helping a child learn internal coping strategies, things like exercising, drawing, journaling, listening to music, skills they can use proactively when distress hits.
Building their toolbox.
Exactly. And third, having a clear plan for reaching out to trusted individuals, a crisis line number readily available, a therapist's contact, a trusted family member they can call. It's about preparedness, not panic, having a plan in place.
Preparedness, not panic. That's a good way to frame it. It's natural, though, to feel like you should be able to solve everything for your child. But sometimes, despite every effort, that simply isn't the case. So what does this all mean for parents who feel they simply cannot help their child anymore, or feel they've done all they possibly can? That must be an incredibly painful place to be.
It must be devastating. The source uses a very powerful and, frankly, heartbreaking example of a child with anorexia to illustrate that sometimes more effort just doesn't lead to the outcome you desperately want.
Mm-hmm.
It advises parents in those situations to come to grips with having done all they can and then focus on ensuring their child receives the absolute best professional care available. It's an acceptance of limits, which can be incredibly, incredibly hard.
Acceptance of limits. Wow.
There's a particularly powerful quote included from a British consciousness researcher named Sue Blackmore. Her daughter is a recovering anorexic, and she says this. She says, "Don't give in to the tempting idea that to save their life, you must sacrifice your own. It isn't true. And they may need you in the future when they are better. If you are a wreck, your child may feel an even greater burden of guilt at having been the cause of your misery. So do your best, love your child as well as you can, but keep on being yourself."
Wow. Keep on being yourself. That's profound.
It really is. It's a message about boundaries, about self-preservation, about ensuring you're actually there and healthy for the long haul, whatever that looks like.
That quote is incredibly poignant. And it brings us to another long-haul consideration. How families adjust when children with special needs move beyond school age. The typical empty nest often means something very different here, doesn't it?
It truly does. The source contrasts the typical empty nest scenario, kids graduate, maybe go to college, move away, with the often very different reality for many special needs families. Well, for them, the post-school period often means a shift to even closer to full-time caregiving as those school supports suddenly stop. Or, conversely, it can bring immense guilt for parents who aren't providing full-time care, maybe if their adult child transitions into a group home or a similar setting. It's not really about their child leaving the nest, it's about a whole new phase of care, or navigating the feelings around not being the primary caregiver 24/7.
It's a really different perspective on the empty nest.
Completely different. There's a novelist mentioned, Hannah Brown, who is raising an autistic son requiring full-time care. She shares this thought that really captures this distinction, this unique kind of hope.
What did you say?
She says, "The fantasy I keep coming back to, the one that lingers, is the wish that Danny could create his own nest one day, not because I can't accept him for who he is, but because believe that's what he wants to."
Oh, wow. That's beautiful. It speaks to a very different kind of hope and adjustment, doesn't it? Where the nest might look incredibly different, but that desire for self-determination, for their child's own fulfillment, is still there.
Scotland.
It's powerful.
Wow. So, okay, we've really explored a lot here. The critical importance of parental self-care, those nuanced dynamics of strengthening the co-parenting alliance, and that really crucial reframing of challenges instead of trying to fix everything. We've also delved into navigating social issues, understanding what special education truly is, that set of services, not just a place, recognizing those subtle signs of mental health struggles like depression and suicidal ideation, accepting our limitations as parents, and adapting to that unique, often complex post-school age transition. It's a lot to process.
It really is. And what's fascinating here, I think, is that this deep dive reinforces the idea that knowledge is most valuable when it's not just understood, but truly applied. And critical thinking, of course, is absolutely essential in navigating such complex and deeply personal family dynamics. There are no easy answers.
No, definitely not. Well, here's a thought for you, our listener, to carry forward from this deep dive. Yeah, maybe connecting this to the bigger picture. It suggests that true advocacy for a child with special needs really begins with unwavering advocacy for one's own well-being. It's about understanding that their future might one day require not just your love, but your sustained, healthy presence. So maybe the question to ponder is, what does it truly mean to do your best when the goal isn't fixing, but fostering growth and connection?
That's a powerful thought to end on. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We encourage you to continue your own exploration of these vital topics.